Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and in today's video, we're gonna have another Q&A where I answer your questions from our YouTube channel. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love helping the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Thank you to everyone that is subscribed to the Kirby Allison YouTube channel. It's so great to have you as a part of this community of the well-dressed exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. This is a part of our Q&A series where I take your questions from our YouTube channel and answer them more in depth. Now, of course, I try to get back to as many of your questions in person as you ask them in the comments of our videos, but it's fun to take those and to go a little bit deeper in its own video. Our first question today is on one of our new video formats. This is our Outfit of the Day video series where we take an outfit that I'm wearing on a particular day and I talk a little bit more in depth about why I chose what I was wearing. And this is from Puma Gaming, and it says, quick question, Kirby. When getting a bespoke suit, do the trousers have to have a break in them, or can they just have no break if I want them that way? So, great question. So break is a reference to really the folding of the trousers kind of down towards the bottom, where basically you have extra fabric, right? So you can have no break, where they drape straight down and there's no extra kind of fabric built into the leg of the trouser to create that break. You can have a small break or you can have a large break. And then you've seen it with a gentleman whose trousers maybe are too long or have fallen down below the waist from where they're supposed to be, and that you can have all this fabric kind of bunching down at the bottom. Of course, that doesn't look good taken to that extreme, but anywhere between no break and just kind of a slight or moderate break really is perfectly acceptable. As long as you're wearing over the calf dress socks like what we sell here, our sovereign grade dress socks, you shouldn't have anything to worry about there. There you go, great question. And I think again, it all comes down to personal preference, like so many other details of the trouser. Forward versus reverse pleats, tabs on the side versus belt loops. Whenever you go bespoke, what is really great about that process is you can really fine tune all those different characteristics of the trousers to make them really individual to you and just to your liking. Like for instance, one of the things that's changed about my trousers over the years is that I've increased the size of the cuff. I've also increased the rise of the trousers to go really to the natural waist so that I could wear them with braces. And then of course, my trousers have always had tabs on the side. I've never really had anything made for a belt because again, one of the benefits of having something made is that you can have them tailored in such a way that you shouldn't need a belt in order to hold your trousers up. Our second question is on one of our highest viewed videos and one of my favorites. This is our Cowboy boot fitting with Texas Traditions and Lee Miller. We actually film Lee taking my measurements and going through his entire process of bespoke measurements. An absolutely exceptional video. And now this question is from a chosen one. Wouldn't it be easier just to encase your foot in clay and then make a mold of his foot with it? This is a great question, and it's a question that honestly we get quite often on this channel, which is, wouldn't it be easier to just 3D scan your foot, or why not just take a molding of the foot and then do the last around that? The point that it misses, and the point that a lot of the bespoke last makers really describe to me, it's not the measurements in and of themselves, but really what you do with those measurements that's so important. It's the interpretation of them. Because at the end of the day, a beautiful shoe really is sculpture that has to mold around and fit the foot, but it's not a copy of your foot. I mean, if someone were to show up to work in a pair of barefoot running shoes, those wouldn't be beautiful like a really well-made, well-inspired dress shoe. And so the true skill and artistry of a bespoke shoemaker or last maker is the interpretation of that client's measurements and how those are really then evolved into a three-dimensional last on which a shoe is built. Next up, we have a question on our how to condition a leather bag. Everyone knows how great Saphir shoe polish is for shining your beautiful leather dress shoes and cleaning your suede shoes, but Saphir also has an entire range of products really equally incredible for leather goods. And so this question is from Life with Loki. Hi, I have a few questions regarding the use of Saphir. I have a few Hermes bags in box calf, Epson and Swift leather, and wonder if the Saphir Renovator is appropriate. I also have the Saphir Cream 1925 and wonder if that is just for shoes. First and foremost, you really can't take the same products that you would use for shoe care and just think that you can immediately use them on leather goods. And the reason is because the way that the leather is finished for larger leather goods is really different than a pair of shoes. Now let's take, for example, the Hermes bag that you have in box calf. In order to really preserve and retain that really kind of soft and supple feel, you can't add wax to the surface of the leather because it would totally transform that. So if you were to take a product like the Saphir Renovateur, which contains soft waxes, and apply that to an unwaxed box calf bag, you would really totally transform, if not ruin, the texture of that leather. Now rest assured, there still are products out there, and a great one is the Napa Leather Balm. I have a jar of this right here. It's still part of the Médaille d'Or. Now the Napa Leather Balm is a jojoba oil based. It also is whey protein, totally vegetable protein based polish. It doesn't have any animal fats in it. Now that's important for two reasons. One, it's those animal fats, those really kind of heavy oils that can saturate the leather and cause it to darken. And because this is 100% vegetable based, you don't have to worry about any darkening of the leather. It's not going to change the color at all. The second important characteristic really differentiating the Napa Leather Balm from, say, a product like the Saphir Renovateur is that it does not contain any waxes. It is completely unwaxed, so it'll do a great job nourishing and conditioning the leather without changing the texture because there's no waxes. You had a final question about the Crim 1925, which is basically Saphir's range of shoe polish that is underneath the Saphir Médaille d'Or. So if Saphir Médaille d'Or is really their highest quality and best polish, the Crim 1925, or the blue label as I call it, is just right under that, and that is totally appropriate for shoes. It doesn't have the same concentration of nutrients that the Saphir Médaille d'Or does, doesn't have the same concentration of pigments, and it doesn't have the same kind of diversity of waxes that has made Saphir Médaille d'Or so well known as producing a really easy and long-lasting shine. But nevertheless, it's a great product, and I certainly would recommend it over any other cream polishes that are available on the market, with the exception of course, Saphir Médaille d'Or. So our next question is from Court Paul, and it reads, hi, I'm from Trinidad in the Caribbean, and I'd like to say thank you very much because my daughter will be married in November 2020, and I've learned how to tie a bow tie, and this was quite a learning experience and informative. Hey, thank you so much. I couldn't be more just flattered and really privileged to have helped you learn how to tie a bow tie. So this is back in like 2001, 2002, my first year at college, and this is pre-YouTube, right? So I couldn't go to YouTube and find a video on how to tie a bow tie. I asked a few professors. I thought being in the business school, surely some of my finance professors would know how to tie a bow tie. And it really was shocking how few, actually none of them, knew how to tie a bow tie. I mean, really shocking. So then I went to the local haberdasher, I think it was like Capital Clothiers or something, right on Bee Cave Road. And I found a nice gentleman there that worked there. I asked him if he could teach me how to tie a bow tie. He said, sure, and he proceeded to tie the bow tie around his thigh. And I was like, well, I mean, how's that gonna help me? I'm not tying it around my thigh, I need to tie it around my neck. And it turns out that this gentleman that was in the clothing industry only knew how to tie bow ties for mannequins, and he would do that around his thigh, not actually around his neck. So I left that store discouraged. It was not helpful at all. And I think after spending a little bit of time searching on the internet, I was actually able to find a university dean based in some New England college who was particularly well known for his bow ties. You know, he wore bow ties to class every day. And he actually had a video embedded on his website on how to tie a bow tie. And it was that video that actually taught me how to tie my first bow tie. So congratulations to you. I'm glad that you were able to find our video. And you know, best of luck at your daughter's wedding here later this year. And congratulations. And I know that you're gonna look great with your self-tied bow tie. So thank you for that. Of course, if you're watching any one of our videos, you know, please do leave a comment, even if it's just to say hi and let us know what you thought of the video. Or if you have a question, of course, ask that. I try to get back to as many of those as possible. And one of the things that I love is actually more and more as we grow, I see more members or subscribers of this channel answering each other's questions. So that's what's really exciting about this. So of course, keep that up. And I always love to hear kind of what you think of our our content. Now, of course, if you haven't visited KirbyAllison.com, please do so. It's how we support this channel, and there you'll find the largest collection of luxury garment care, luxury shoe care, and other luxury clothing accessories available anywhere in the world, and I'd like to say at least on the internet. Now, if you haven't subscribed, hit that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner so that you can stay up to date whenever we publish new videos. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Kirby Allison. It's really the best way to stay up to date about what's going on in this world. I'm Kirby Allison. As everyone knows, I love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes while exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Thanks for watching.